Yes, welcome everybody for another, I lost track of what number this is, but another wonderful shir in Shaar haBitachon. We are in the middle of Perek Shlishi. We're in chapter 3, not quite the middle, but we're in there somewhere. We are on page 63, and as we discussed before, that in the previous chapter, our author basically gave us a list of 7 requirements in order to trust Hashem, and then he basically proved each one of the 7 that only Hashem can do, and therefore we have to trust Hashem. But in the introduction to this chapter, he actually explained that there are 2 ways of connecting to Hashem. One way is simple faith. Hashem created the world. He told you so. Shoin. Good. Great. That's emunah. That's how it is. Makes sense. Okay. Hashem created the world. That's that. Believe it. Move on. The second one is through rational thinking, through processing. 1 second. Being that Hashem created the world, and being that there's no other being that's stronger than Hashem, and being that Hashem is all chesed and love, and being that there is no one else that has known us from before birth till after. Therefore, Hashem must be the only one. Meaning Hashem must be the only one we can take care of. Give me 1 second. Got it. And got it. Beautiful. Okay. Continue. Okay. So therefore, now that we understand all these things with a rational mind, so now we can believe that Hashem is going to take care of us. We can really give our troubles and our struggles over to Hashem. Now, there are pros and cons to each one. The pro to having emunah is that no matter at what point and what stage, wherever we are, we could be in the dumps and we could be in a point where like I have no energy to even start thinking about Hashem and Hashem's power and Hashem's abilities. I don't have time. I don't have energy right now to process rationally what this all is about. We can rely on simple emunah. That's it. Hashem said he's going to take care of me. He's going to take care of me. Shine. Finished. Right? If we're going through a hard time and we're not in the mood to go through a Maimer Chassidus or to review our Shaar haBitachon, we know Hashem, at the end of the day, Hashem's going to take care of me. That's it. That's simple emunah. So that's the pro. The pro of rational thinking is that you go through step by step, and there's no other way. That is what it is. Like you lead up to every single stage of the way, and therefore Hashem is taking care of me. It makes sense. But if it reaches a point where Hashem's ability to take care of you is beyond rational thought, it's beyond this makes sense. So then you can go back to emunah, right? You see, so you have both. You have the rational thinking that it all adds up. It's like, okay, emunah is just too simple. I really need to think through this. You have the rational thought. On the other hand, the simple emunah, if you're going through a struggle that you're not in a point where you're gonna rationalize it, you have the simple emunah. Not only that, but even rationalizing doesn't quite cut it when it comes to understanding Hashem, because Hashem is beyond our rational thinking. So, okay, so that's what we said. And then we went back into 5 out of this, 6 out of the 7 reasons why we should trust Hashem. And now he's going to rationally explain it to us step by step, how each one of them makes sense. So we are on page 63, but I actually want to start in a different book first. So I don't know if you have seen this heavy but really powerful, supposedly children's books. It was funny. I had some guests over on Shabbos a few weeks ago. Oh, it was the Shabbos right after Hey, and everybody was like, "Oh, what did you buy? What did you buy? What did you buy?" So I said what I bought, and then my kids wanted to show off what they bought. So then they brought the books, and so one of our guests was saying, she's like, "Oh, those are so nice. Like, what is it? What are they about?" Baruch Hashem, we had read them already, so I was able to answer. I'm like, this one is about, and I started to say every single one, and it was so amazing. Her jaw was like basically on the floor. She's like, Jewish books have such deep meaning. Like other books, it's like the cat went in the hat, and then the cat went outside. Cat says moo. Cat is furry. Like cat says meow. Cat is furry, right? And that's about it. But in Jewish books, it's like, Avi, the happiest boy. How can you be truly happy by being grateful for what you have? And like, da 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 da. It's like incredible. Jewish books are filled with amazing messages, and I'm so lucky to be raising my children with Jewish books. But anyway, so speaking of Jewish books, this heavy book that will do a nice job on my back. So it's called My Parsha. It's the Weiss edition. Yes, totally me. I made it. Thank you very much. And then the Weiss family who sponsored it is going to call me and be like, no, it wasn't you. No, it was not. But this is actually somehow connected to, it's called the Living Lessons. But I think it's somehow connected to Tzivos Hashem. I know they gave it out, but I think even the making of it has what to do with Tzivos Hashem. But anyway. It's like an umbrella. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. So I wanted to start by sharing a piece from this book. Okay. Yes. Okay. So there's a story here. It's technically for last week's reading, but we're going to also do bits and pieces of this week. So it's okay. Okay. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter was surprised at the exorbitant price for a cup of coffee in a local cafe. He approached the owner and asked, "Why do you charge so much? Surely a cup, water, some coffee grounds, and a bit of sugar can't add up to all that much." "True," the owner admitted, "but the price includes the beautiful decor, the peace and calm of the cafe, the fancy china, the waiters who serve it, and the background music that you can enjoy while drinking." Rabbi Yisrael's face lit up with joy. "Thank you," he cried. "I now understand the blessing of shehakol, which includes mention of everything, when all we are really consuming is a simple cup of water. In truth, along with our drink, we're also thanking Hashem for our health and ability to drink, for the fresh air we breathe, and the big, beautiful world. There is truly so much to thank Hashem for." So I wanted to start with that story because when it comes down to it, we have to take a moment and turn and say, it's not just the shehakol in front of me, it's everything else. And I think sometimes and I think this is going to go through our share a little bit, but I think sometimes we hyper focus on whatever our problem is, and we forget the shehakol around. So let's take a moment and focus on that problem, and we're going to bring solutions to it. So therefore, we can say thank you, Hashem, for everything else that's going well and beautiful and damning. Like the missing tile syndrome. Yes, that's so funny. Yes. It's like the missing tile syndrome, someone said in the class. One second, today's share is for Refuah Shalema for, where is the name that? Okay. Simcha Bracha Chana Etel Bas Nechama Rus Yentel. Refuah Shalema. And Refuah Shalema for Tinuk Ben Chana, and for Meir Gedalia Ben Chanalea. Okay, and everybody else whose needs are Refuah Shalema. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we're up to the second paragraph, or the third paragraph in the English. It's called the fifth quality. The fifth quality: no creation has the power to help himself or harm himself, or to help or harm another person without the permission of the Creator. May he be blessed. Like, let's just get started on a bang. No creation Now, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely had someone bully me in school. I'm not going to do a raise of hands, but I'm sure some people have gone through struggles. And to think for a moment, that person who was bothering me incessantly and hurt my feelings didn't actually do it because they are a bad person. I mean, whatever. I'm kidding. I'm joking. But they didn't actually do it because they're a bad person. They did it because whatever was meant to happen to me at that point. And I was meant to learn a lesson through that experience. So now let's read that again. No creation has the power to help himself or harm himself, or to help or harm another person without the permission of the Creator. May he be blessed. So now let's read down where it says without the permission of the Creator. The Midrash explains the pasuk, God is my portion, says my soul. To what can this be compared? To a king who enters a country accompanied by a duke, a minister, and a governor. The country folk sitting on the square chat amongst themselves. I will choose the duke as my patron, one said. I will choose the minister as my patron, another said. I will choose the governor as my patron, said another. Still another said. There was, however, one clever person among them who said, I will choose the king. The others are all subject to replacement, whereas the king is not. So too of the nations of the world. Some serve the sun, some serve the moon, and some serve the tree and the stone. However, the Jew serves no one but Hashem alone, and this is the meaning of the verse. God is my portion, says my soul. This can be further understood as follows. Those who worship the sun and the moon do not think that either of these can generate influence independently. Rather, the influence that they provide is implied by the verse with delicacies of the sun's produce and with delicacies of the moon's yield. Produce. Okay. Come entirely from Hashem, who conveys influence through them, right? So even every single aspect of everything that comes from whatever is the idol that we're idolizing, not we, but that other people are idolizing, whatever comes from them is essentially coming from Hashem. So as we are actually learning in this, the last week's parsha, this week's parsha, that a big part of Egyptian culture was the Nile River. And the fact of it was that it brought them life. Did it not bring them life? It did. It was able to flow over and irrigate the entire land, and that's how they got their water that they needed. What they forgot in that is that Hashem is the one that makes the Nilus run. Hashem is the one that decides now it's going to flow over. So we might think that it's our wits. We might think that it's our cell phone. We might think that it's our boss. We might think that it's our paycheck. Whatever it is going to bring us success. But just look a little deeper. Your success comes from Hashem through that method, through that passageway. Does that make sense? What is the wisdom of the clever person who said, I will choose the king? He identified the truth that all the intermediaries through which influence descends are merely like an axe in the hand of the chopper, and that everything comes from Hashem. Therefore, it makes no sense to state the wine indeed belongs to the owner, but the waiter deserves favor for the wine. While there are many natural means through which Hashem provides for his people, they are all interchangeable. It is only Hashem, the source of all good, who uses these vessels to influence us with his abundance of good and who is constant. So, I don't know for everyone that doesn't yet know, Baruch Hashem, my husband is joining the Living Chassidus team full-time over the next few weeks. So for the past 6 or so months, we've been doing a lot of fundraising courses. And it was very interesting because at one of them, one of the shluchim was saying that one of his major donors, for whatever reason, was not able to give. And he was like, oh my gosh, where is it going to come from? And he called his friend, and he was having like a whole for bringing, like, okay, stay cool, like, be relaxed, it's going to be okay. And he decided he's going to make a keli, and he gave tzedakah to another shliach who needed help. The next day, he opened a check. He opened in the mail a letter with a check with $25,000 from a random stranger.
Wow.
So, I mean, even if it's not a random stranger, I'll take it. So, when we think about it, we think there might be a door that's closing, but in the end, it's just opening another door in a different direction. And Hashem will find a way to help you. Hashem will find a solution for you. Hashem will provide you with everything you need. And you don't have to be stressed out. That has to come through your specific vision of what door it needs to go through. It's going to come. Whatever door it comes through, Hashem can provide through this way, and he can provide through this way. And that's why we can't give credence to the flow. What's the word for that? The channel, the place of the channel, because Hashem can find a different channel. It's always Hashem at the end of the day, and it's always Hashem at the beginning of the day. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, going back to our main, back on the text on page 63. For when a servant has more than one master, and each one is able to help him, it makes no sense for the servant to rely solely on one of his masters, because he expects to be helped by each of them. If, in fact, one of them, as a result of his greatness, is more capable than the others to help him, then the servant's reliance on that master will be stronger, in accordance with his ability to help him, despite the fact that he relies on the other masters as well, right? So for anyone here, because I know there are a few people here that at one point or another in their lives have had multiple jobs. You have to balance around all of your bosses. You have to balance around all of your priorities. And we might think, this boss pays me more, this boss takes up more time or has more expectations of me. And at the end of the day, the cheshbonos between all the bosses doesn't really make a difference, because at the end of the day, Hashem's the one that puts it through it. But anyway, that's not quite the... Okay, moving on to the next paragraph. All the more so, if only one of them is able to help him or cause him harm, then he will be forced to rely on him alone, because he does not expect to be helped by anyone other than him. Similarly, when a person feels that no creation can either help him or harm him without the permission of the Creator, may he be blessed, this will cause him to cease being afraid of other people, causing him harm, and to cease cause him to cease being afraid of other people, causing him harm, and to cease relying on them to help him. Instead, he will rely solely on the Creator. As it says, do not trust in princes, meaning people in power, in the Son of Man who has no solution. So not only should we not trust in the princess, meaning someone in power, and not only that, but we can't trust in the Son of Man, meaning even people that don't technically have the power. We shouldn't trust in them. We should, because they themselves don't have the solution. Even when a person... one second, I missed a bit. Okay, can I go back for a second? Bottom of page 63. That asterisk. For when a servant, etc., with the following example of a servant with many masters, the author is expressing the unique quality of trust as placing full trust in Hashem alone and not thinking that there is another option. Turn the page. With this analogy of a servant, the author also is capturing the essence of Bitachon. Okay, take a moment, process this. An imprisoned servant does not merely choose to trust his master. Rather, he is aware that what will occur to him is solely dependent on the wishes of his master. and no one else can harm him or help him. The person of Bitachon has defined his relationship with Hashem in a servant-like manner, recognizing that he is in control of nothing and God is in control of everything. So are we in order to give ourselves and have and understand the essence of Bitachon, we need to see ourselves as servants. We are just like a servant in a lahavdil, but a prisoner is up to the hand of the master. So too we should choose to see ourselves as servants of Hashem. Hashem has the full power to be able to run our lives, but we need to make that choice up here. He already has the power. We just need to be conscious of it. He has full faith, meaning the person who trusts Hashem, that Hashem will take care of him and that no other being can harm him or even help him. Such a person has no worries because he is completely and unequivocally in Hashem's hands. Okay, take a moment. What are you struggling with right now? Don't share out loud. But what are you struggling with right now? What's something that's weighing heavily on you? What's something that's stressing you out? Thinking about it myself. Such a person has no worries because he is completely and unequivocally in Hashem's hands. So we are completely and unequivocally in Hashem's hands, and therefore we can not have any worries. I'm going to read the bottom line because it has to do with what we just said. You are in control of nothing, and Hashem is in control of everything. Now, going to the next. King David, up there where it says King David. King David says, cast your burdens upon Hashem and he will sustain you. This can be interpreted to mean that you live your life with no worries or burdens because they are cast onto Hashem and then he will sustain you. In other words, the truth itself that all your burdens are not yours. The truth. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me read that again. The trust itself that all your burdens are not yours because Hashem is taking care of you will lead to your salvation. So that in of itself, the fact that you are giving your problems and saying, Hashem, my shoulders are not big enough, strong enough to handle this. This is yours. You're the one in charge. You're the one taking care of me. You're going to take this on your shoulders. That in of itself, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to pass on your burdens to Hashem. And because you work hard for that struggle, because of that, Hashem is going to help you. Adli done, essentially. Okay, so now we were saying, back to the main text, we were saying that instead he will rely solely on the Creator, as it says, do not trust in princes, meaning someone in power, in the Son of Man, meaning even someone who's not in power, who has no salvation. So now we're on the top of page 65. Even when a person is helped by someone else, that helper is merely a messenger of Hashem, who orchestrated that he be the one to help the person in need. This is what the pasuk means when it says, who has no salvation. The salvation is not attributed to him, but to Hashem. In order for Bitachon to be strong, the person must realize that no one other than Hashem has the power over him. Now, let's take a moment. Back to story time. Back to this wonderful book called My Parsha. And shout out to Leivik for lending me his book. So in this week's section of My Parsha, I don't know if you can, oh wait, that's not this week, hold on, turn the page. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see the picture. Can you see the man holding a very, very heavy thing? And you see a hand coming down and kind of helping him hold it up. Yeah. Well, I'm going to read it, but after I read it, pass around. Okay, so there's a beautiful section on the top called "Come with Me," and this has to do with this week's parsha. If anyone's watching the recording, this week's parsha is Parshas Bay. So it says, Moshe, the epitome of innocence and purity, was faced with his opposite Pari, the very essence of immorality and darkness. Afraid of contending with such great evil, Moshe was confronted by Hashem's words, "Come to Pari." The fact that it was worded this way, as opposed to "go to Pari," conveyed to Moshe that Hashem would be coming along to be by his side in the palace, supporting him and strengthening him as he contends with this formidable and wicked tyrant. Reassured by Hashem's constant presence and protection, all the paros of life fade into insignificance. Whatever you may be facing, know that Hashem is always at your side, giving you the support and strength you need to prevail. Life sometimes forces us into unpleasant situations, in which it can be uncomfortable to act as a Jew. Remember that Hashem is with you and walk with your head held high. Whatever life throws your way, know that Hashem is coming along for the ride, holding your hand all the while. And I think that's such a beautiful, first of all, for kids, it's incredible. The message of wherever you are, whatever you do, whatever situation you're dealing with, Hashem is there and he's coming with you. He's not sending you off. It's funny because everyone who's learning Basi Lagani in the morning with my husband, it's really beautiful. Like all the focus on, okay, Hashem put us in this world to make it a better place. And it was actually really sweet. Last night before going to bed, we were having a discussion with the kids. And it was this morning before going to school. And he was telling them, Hashem put you in this world to make it a welcoming place. He goes, you know how when we get home, we take off our shoes and we, get comfy, take off your coat, put on your tichel. Yes, exactly. So he did that with the kids this morning. So he's like, you can do that for Hashem wherever you are, because Hashem is there with you and you're welcoming him and you're taking him with you, and he's there. He's coming with you along throughout the entire day. I feel like that's a really powerful message. Okay. Okay, we're on page 65. In order for Bitachon to be strong, the person must realize that no other than Hashem has any power over him. Okay, the sixth quality. Recognize the great kindness that Hashem bestows upon people and how he began to be so kind and good. At the beginning of a person's formation in the womb of his mother, without his being deserving of it, and without God's need to do so. Rather, it is out of his generosity, goodness, and kindness that he does so, as explained in the gate of examination, Shaar haBitachon, which is in this book, which I'm sure we all have read. Okay, let's take a moment, step back for a second, or rewind for a second. So Hashem is so kind and good without his being deserving on it. What does that even mean? So they add in this commentary, which means at the beginning of a person's formation in the womb of his mother. So let's go down to the asterisk. Without being deserving of it, at the beginning time when the person is in his mother's womb, he has not yet performed any mitzvahs on account of which he would be deserving of reward. So that unborn fetus, blastula, whatever stage it's up to, Hashem already cares for it. Hashem already is taking giving it loving attention and taking care of every step of it, even though it has not done anything for Hashem yet. That's how incredibly kind Hashem is. And I hope that we all take a lesson and we all do nice things for people, even though they may not have done something nice for us. But not always does it work that way in the human's perspective, right? When someone calls you, it's a random stranger asking for something. You see it differently than when someone calls you and it's your best friend asking for something. And they could be asking for the exact same thing, right? But Hashem is so kind that he takes care of a unborn baby, fetus, whatever, even before it has done anything for Hashem. Now, rather, it is out of his generosity, goodness, and kindness that he does so, as explained in this book, which is another section of this book, where over there, he basically explains how perfect the womb is in the formation of a baby, and how being that we see that, then we're able to see Hashem's kindness and wisdom, which is funny because I know several of my friends, but I can think of one specifically that basically became from thanks to biology.
That's really cool.
Because once you start to realize all the minuscule, teeny tiny detail that couldn't have possibly been thought out, and all of it works together, it must be Hashem. So too here. Hashem is taking care of this baby to make sure that every single cell is formed and where it needs to be. I don't know if someone's ever done a pregnancy app and you follow the week by week, and it's wow, the ears, wow, the spine, and now it's the size of a cucumber, whatever. So the more you see that, the more you're able to really appreciate Hashem's kindness and that he's really making it happen every step of the way. Okay. And as King David of blessed memory said, you have done great things, you, O Lord, my God. Your wonders and your thoughts are for us. So he's done all these great things. Who's it for? For us. There is none to equal you. Were I to tell and speak, they would be too many to tell. This verse is quoted here as proof that all the actions of Hashem are for us, purely for our benefit, as stated above. Now, the seventh quality. It should be clear to the person that all things in existence in this world, both those that are essential, meaning, okay, let me read it first because I know it gets choppy. So let me read the whole sentence, and I'm going to skip the parentheses It should be clear to the person that all things in existence in this world, both those that are essential and those that are accidental, have a clear and defined limit, and it is impossible to add or subtract from the limit that Hashem may he be blessed, has decreed, right? So even those things that are meant to be and are exactly how they're meant to be, or even those things that throw us off, like ball out of left field, right? All of them cannot be changed and they cannot be shifted other than what Hashem decides for it. So now let's read it with the explanation. So those that are essential, referring to the beings and objects themselves that were brought into creation, and those that are accidental, referring to the events that happen to those objects and beings. So Hashem said, I'm going to create trees. Beautiful. That tree is there and it's created and it's done. What happens to that tree? It's a whole other level of creation, but both of those, the ones that are essential that Hashem created and the ones that are not, or the ones that throw us off or surprise us, even those they can't be changed no matter how much we try. Correct. And that's what we're going to learn. That's exactly it. A person cannot change an object's quantity, quality, time, or place. He cannot increase that which was decreed to be few, nor can he decrease that which was decreed to be many. Similarly, a person will not be able to delay something that has been decreed to be early, nor will he be able to hasten something that has been decreed to be delayed. A person has no control over how long he will live, how much money he will earn, or when something will happen. Everything is in Hashem's hands. Although a person often seems to have influence over what will happen, this is not really true, as the author continues. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so let's read the section that says, it is impossible to add or subtract. You guys see that? Okay. It is impossible to add or subtract from the limit that Hashem, may he be blessed, has decreed. The Torah Lebanon, which we learned earlier, is one of the commentaries on this, illustrates this with the following example. A boat is supposed to set sail on the following day. Its captain, so the captain that's going to be running that boat, is falsely accused by the ruler, thereby delaying the voyage. During that period, pirates wreaked havoc at sea, so that when the boat finally set out, the crew, fearing the terror, took a different route, right? So not only is it delayed by a day, but now there's pirates and the boat went a different direction to avoid the pirates. That new route caused the boat to crash into rocks. All the passengers drowned, and the sea carried a case filled with treasures to the shore. At the same time, the ruler of a different city was falsely accusing a righteous person of wrongdoing, causing the latter to flee to the seashore. At that very moment, the case with treasures floated to the shore. The righteous man took the case and consequently was able to support himself for the rest of his life. The initial cause of the righteous man's livelihood was the first ruler's false accusations. Had the captain set sail earlier, before the pirates began their terror, he would not have traveled the dangerous alternate route that caused the ship to crash. The second cause was that the pirates wreaked havoc at that very time. The third cause was that this case was able to float away since it was on the boat. The fourth cause was the sea's current pushing the case towards the specific shore. The fifth cause was the ruler's accusation against the righteous man at the very time. The sixth cause, the righteous man's decision to run away. The seventh cause was his decision to run at the very time that to that very location, in other words, the seashore. Behold, none of these happened accidentally. This is exactly what you were saying. Rather, Hashem, in his wisdom, coordinated that everything happened in its time and place. Not only was the drowning of the crew and the breaking out of terror at sea all by divine decree, but the simultaneous coordination was also affected through Hashem's wisdom to execute his will and decree. Understand this, for it is deep, and this is the author's intent. Whoa! Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the book I just bought for the kids, The Leaf and the Worm.
Ah, yes, tell us more.
So I'm saying, so the what's it called was walking by and the leaf fell down, and he asked the leaf, "Why did you fall down?" I don't know. I was on the branch, and he goes, "The branch, why did you?" And it goes all the way, like, and the tree was like, "Well, the wind blew me." The wind's like, and the person's like asking the wind, and then all of a sudden, guess Hashem, like Hashem's like, "Well, I made the wind blow this, that, everything because there's a worm under there who davened to me and asked Hashem, please protect me." If I made so like the ripple effect of everything because of that one worm that needed to be covered.
That is beautiful. I love that. And shout out to I'm afraid for making this one.
So like, I remember so excited that we found it in English. She goes, "No, I could have it, not in English." I'll read that in English.
Yes.
So that was definitely Taylor's book. I was so excited to find it.
Yay! Amazing. Okay, so what did we just basically prove? All of these things were not accidental. There is no such concept as accidental. I think I've told you guys this before, that I was once in the car with somebody who's not Lubavitch, but from, and she was driving super fast, trying to like pass the next car over, and then pass the next car over, and then pass the next car over. And it was like a stop and go. And it was like giving me anxiety. And we get off of the highway and there's a red light and all the cars caught up to us. And I was laughing and I'm like, I just said it in a nice way because we were friends. But I was like, look what, like, you went back and forth, trying to run. But like, look, now we're all surrounded. Like we should know that Hashem has everything planned, and the red light was meant to be red, and we were all meant to be here at the exact same time. And she was like, "But what do you mean? I was always taught that Hashem was like the clockmaker, and he put the clock, and now the clock's running on its own. So I can actually run run past everybody else in their cars. And I'm like, what? And this is my first experience of like, what do you mean you're from and you don't think that it's hashgacha pratis? Really? Which is interesting because now it's like seeped so deeply in so many other places as well. But this is really, it's Baal Shem Tov's. Yeah. So it was very interesting. It's like, and then we spent the rest of the car ride. And we're like, whoa, 1 second. We got to learn Chassidus together. So anyway, what did we just see? That even those things that were technically bad, so to speak, were actually meant for a greater good. And there was a reason behind the pirates, and there was a reason behind the captain being accused, and there was a reason for all of it. And at the end of the day, there was something good. And I think we can take that for ourselves as well. There are not, I know this is hard to say, so I'm gonna be sensitive, but they're technically, from the Hashem perspective, Hashem glasses viewpoint, there isn't something that's quote unquote bad. There are things that are uncomfortable and things that don't feel good and things that we can't understand because we weren't the ones seeing that treasure of jewels floating up to the righteous man. We don't always get to see the end result, but there is a positive end result. And whatever is meant to be, Hashem is doing it out of incredible kindness, whether it's for us to learn a lesson, whether it's for us to gain something in the long run. I always say that some of my greatest lessons I've learned in my marriage had to do with struggles I'd seen or struggles I'd experienced in the past. That at that time, I'm like, why would that person hurt my feelings so badly? And later on, I'm like, oh, now I get it, because I needed to learn how to trust, or I needed to learn how to, set boundaries, or I needed to learn some sort of lesson. So right now we might be in the lesson stage, but we can also take a moment and think back, what are the lessons I learned from previous experiences? What has led me to be where I am now? And we can take a moment, or more than a moment, to be grateful for those things that now turned out good. Like, oh, I thought it was such a terrible thing that I didn't get into that school, and I really wanted to go, and I cried and cried and cried. And at the end of the day, I'm meant to be exactly where I'm meant to be. And all those pieces led to where I am right now. Powerful. So powerful. So, okay, let's finish the last piece.
She told the story on that, like on the, with the John does.
Oh yeah, my encounter.
Yeah, so she was born in when was she born? Somewhere in the Middle East. Oh no, she was born in India. Whatever. And then actually her mother just recently passed away. She was like 100 or something.
Wow.
But they went to England, and she was in a Jewish school there, and then she wanted to go to another, for high school, maybe Gates said, I don't know which school. And she didn't pass the test. And she was so disappointed. So her mother put her in a Lubavitch school. And so that's how it became Lubavitch. And she said she's so grateful to that dean who wouldn't accept her in his school.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly. And the beauty is that she's able to turn back and see it. Many times we go through life and we forget to turn back and see it. I think if we all take a moment, like, wow, what was that big disappointment that suddenly it's like, well, that's exactly where I'm meant to be, and I'm not meant to be there. Whether it's a ticket canceled or a unexpected life change, and it just didn't work out as we expected, but now I am where I am thanks to that fork in the road that went the way I didn't think it was meant to go. Okay, I want to share a quote from Rabbi Shais Taub, which I really think encapsulates this, what we're talking about. situations are controlled by Hashem. The one area where Hashem gives us control is in our thoughts. So wherever you are for sure in the right place. You may just not be thinking about it the right way. It's like, I'm definitely in the right place because Hashem has full control over that. Now, what's my take on it? What's my perspective? It's interesting. I have a friend who's taking a course, and it's very, Baruch Hashem, I mean, it's an expensive course. And they have like a 40-something day refund period where you can like ask for a refund if you really think it's not for you. So on the 38th day, she realized, she's like, okay, no, I really can't do this. And she tried. She did the first 2 sections of it and whatever. And she's like, this is not for me. Like, it's just, everything about it is not for me. And so she emails, oh, so cute. And so she emails the program and she says, one second, let me just
see if she's there.
Yeah. Anyway, so she emails the program and she says, okay, yeah, like, this is not for me, and I'm still within my like 40 whatever day trial period, and can I please get a refund? And they respond to her, I don't know if you saw the fine print, but you have to finish the full program and then ask for a refund.
What? So how do you finish if it's going to be more than 40 days?
Well, if you're taking it live, it's going to be more than 40 days. But if you take it on your own, you could technically like cram it, all the information in however many days. So, oh gosh, is right. So here she is. And she is obviously upset because she has all this clarity that this is not meant for her, but now she has to watch all whatever courses of it in order to then.
She doesn't have to watch it. She can see it.
Okay, so we're talking and she's like venting because she's so upset, which I understand. I definitely understand. Whatever. And she's so upset, and she's like, no, I'm forced to watch all this thing and da da da. And so I said to her, I was like, okay, let's take a moment to vent, because that's a valid, take a moment to like, be like, obviously you're upset, and I get that. So, and I don't know if anyone's ever tried, but if you've ever tried to solve someone's problem when they're very upset, not a good idea. So I'm like, I'm just not even going to try. Like, I'm just going to be here and listen to you and hold space for you. So anyway, after a while of her being like, okay, fine. Now what? I told her this, and I said, you have 2 options. You either take it in stride and say, okay, even though the style of this program and whatever is not for me, at least I could take the moment and say, okay, I'm gonna learn something. Hashem is forcing me to do this entire course, and so therefore I'm gonna learn something. He is not happy with the story. I'm gonna learn something, whatever it might be. I don't know what it is, but or I can just press play and go to sleep. So she realized, she was like, okay, you have a good point. Like, this is not going to change. If I want a refund, I'm going to have to do this process to whatever extent. So I could either change my mindset of it, or I could just be upset about it and then be upset about it the whole time. No, that's not the right answer. So anyway, I think exactly. I think that's the point that we're meant to be getting. That whatever situation we're in, oh, she's gonna work hard to get that refund. Don't worry. whatever situation we're in, we could either be upset about it. I mean, there's what to do. And again, she has what to do. She's going to go do it. But we could either be upset about it, or we could take a moment and reframe it and say, okay, Hashem wants me to be here. And that situation is set. It is set that I'm here. Now, Hashem, you have given me, I know, what is that? You have given me freedom about how I think about it and how I react to it. That I have a choice over. Now, how am I going to think about it? How am I going to react to it? And in that, and I'm talking to myself right now. Oh, you struggling thing I'm struggling with. Oh, you. I'm going to choose right now, Leonardo, I'm going to try my best to choose to think about it in a better way and try and see it from a different perspective that I can gain something from, or I'm trying to learn a lesson, or whatever Hashem is trying to do is meant to be for my good. And so therefore, I'm going to try and see it that way. So let's finish off and then we'll finish off. Okay, we're going to finish off the last section, or the top section on page 67. That which does happen in this manner has been decreed by the Creator from the beginning of creation. Although sometimes we do see new, strange, and unexpected things, those things were also decreed by Hashem from the beginning of time. So now let's see the asterisk on the bottom. Were decreed in such a way that they have direct cause. 1 second.
No, wrong one.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong.
That
There we go. Thank you. That which does happen in this manner, in other words, if it seems that events occurred by accident, as we discussed earlier, or quicker than their time, or later than their time, or even out of the ordinary miracles, or when out of ordinary miracles occur. So take a moment and think about something that you think should have happened sooner, or you think should have happened later. And all of those were exactly, or will be exactly at the time that it's meant to be. It was interesting. I was listening to a podcast called Inside Out, from Inside Out, I think. It's with Rivka Krinsky and Ida Schottenstein, and it is very powerful. So I was listening to one with, oh my gosh, Rivka Goldberg. And she's the woman that co-authored or authored the Manis Friedman's latest book. So he basically, she's the way she says it, she was like, I was his pen. But anyway, so one of the things she was saying that sometimes people ask her, or she does like a program with a seminary, where she gets them to write down what they expect of a husband, or like what my husband's going to be like. And she says at the end of it all, she reminds them that regardless of what you wrote on there, your husband's already created. He already is as tall as he's going to be. He's already as short as he's going to be. He already has his quirks. He already has his abilities. He already has everything, and it's already there for you. So as much as we need to make ourselves a clarity of how to find him, and this is how to find some clues to find him, but he is exactly how he is, and he is your husband, and you'll find him at your perfect time. So I want to give a bracha to everybody that you should see the now for what it is, enjoy the now where you are, and realize that what you thought was meant to happen sooner and what will happen at the right time is all preordained, because Hashem is taking care of you and he wants exactly the best thing for you. And this must be the best thing for you. So we can just hopefully see it.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank
On
you.
to another week.
Yeah. Sure. I brought it. Yeah, you know what?